I'm working on a sleeve of a sweater, and I wanted to show you how to use two circular needles rather than double point needles. And you may see my kitty cats walking by because I'm sitting on the floor where the lighting is better. But anyway, here's my sleeve. And I find it easier to work on 2 circular needles rather than the 4 double points. It just seems easier to me. So what I do is I divide the stitches of the sleeve between the 2 needles so that I have half on one circular needle and half on the other. And I find it easier if you use 2 different circular needles that have different colors. It's a little easier to figure out which circular needle to pick up. But basically, you want to make sure you pick up the circular needle that has the same color. Let me show you. I'm going to start knitting here. I'm at the beginning of a round here with my marker, and I'm picking up the silver needle. So I slide my stitches down to my circular needle so I can knit. And then I usually go to the end here with the circular needle, and I find the same color. I want to make sure I'm using both silvers, not the red ones. And as long as I'm using the same color, then it'll work out correctly. And I slide all my stitches up so that I'll be ready to knit them. And then I just start in. Now when you first start knitting on any circular needle, you want to pull your stitches a little tighter than you normally would so that you don't get this ladder effect. So what I do is I kind of curl this old needle under my thumb so that I can get a good tight fit for my next couple of stitches. And then I knit, usually I knit 2, and I pull really tight, tighter than you normally would for knitting, because I want this stitch to be right up close to this wire. I don't want it to have any slack in it. Otherwise, it'll create kind of an open ladder look, and it doesn't look very good. So I knit those first 2 stitches very, very tight. And then I knit the rest just in my normal tension. You'll see here I'm getting close to the end. So what I do as I get closer to the end, I bring the other needle around so that I can kind of hold the wire of that needle up close as I'm knitting, so it makes it a tighter join between the 2 needles. So I'm going to go ahead and finish these few stitches off, and then I'll pick up the next needle and show you how to do that. Okay, last stitch, let go, then I can drop that needle. I can pull this needle back out and just let the wire be in those stitches, and then I want to grab the next needle, so I flip this around. I was using the silvers, now I want to use the red. So I pull my stitches up onto the red needle. This needle has kind of a big join area, so it's a little hard. Pull all my stitches up onto the needle, wiggle them around. Now I'm using the red needle. This one's now laying down, and I reach around and find the cable and the other red needle, and then I start knitting. And again, I'm going to pull my first 2 stitches fairly tight so that I don't get that laddering effect. Tight, 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 so it's right up against this cable. Second stitch is tight, tight, tight. And then the third stitch is my normal tension. And as you keep going, I'll just stop here for a second. As you keep going, your sleeve will continue to grow. You won't have the ladder effect. If you pull too loosely, you'll get a row here where you can kind of get these droopy ladder threads, and it just doesn't look right. So you want to pull kind of tight. But that's a lot easier working on 2 circular needles rather than on 4 double points. Let me know if you have any questions.